There's two ways to run an agency, and one of them is super powerful. However, I fair to say almost nobody runs their agency that way. So let's dive in and go over the different ways to get customers, clients, how to be successful as a personal lines insurance agent. By the way, thank you for everybody. I think October of 2023 was my best month to date. I had over 30 some odd hundred views on my channel, and that's amazing. It's fun to see and interact with a lot of everybody out there. Coming back, I've got a lot of toys that I like to play with. I got this new pen that's like the little ink one. You put ink cartridges in it and it's fun. I've got my new monitor that's 40 some odd inches and it curves and all of the fun stuff. I've even got a lot of content that you guys are going to get some value out of. We're going to go over this year's CRMs. We're going to go through all of the types of running an agency, how to be your own agent, things like that, and test some things in the market and just show you what I've been through. And I'd love to see the updates since I've been in some of these systems. So let's dive in and go over the two types of insurance agencies that are out there. Now, the main one is what we do from day to day, and most agents are this way, most agencies are this way, is you just go focus on volume. Quality can play a factor, but volume is really the key answer to just about everything in the industry. If you watch some of my other channels, like the Think Insurance channel and things like that, you'll hear me talk about some of the problems that we see in that industry, because what happens is when we go volume, we just become salespeople. And not really everyone loves the sales part of it. Unfortunately, you got to get good at that part. And that's what a lot of this channel is going to teach you. But in general, having the volume without the quality part of it is just another sales job. You could crush it. Don't get me wrong. There's a ton of money to be made there, but you're not going to maintain the relationship and build an agency on a long-term scale. You're always going to have those people that stay with you because of the price. But to be honest with you, when change happens, like it has been in the last year and a half, you're going to lose most of your customers, or at least half of your customers, to prices. If you build a relationship, build rapport, you'll have customers like one of mine that came back and said they offered to shop me and get me a better deal, but I told them I didn't want to work with anyone but you. And I've only talked to the person twice. Having those interactions with customers and being on top of things and them understanding that the value of having that agent available to them is way more powerful than having somebody that can get them quick and cheap. Don't get me wrong, there's people out there that do just want the quick and cheap, but it's not going to be a long-lasting portion. Unless you can massively market to that audience, you're not going to have that benefit. That's where we talk about that first agency. So that first agency is built off of volume. And I actually believe that agency needs to exist. If you're a new agent and you're just starting off, if it was just me, that's what I would do. I would go push every piece of content. I would put every piece of marketing I could. I'd be on Facebook trying to find leads. I'd join all the groups for my local community. I'd join the cheapest, easiest connection BNI groups that I could until I can afford the better upgraded versions of them. I'd create as much value as I could in the marketplace, get my name out there as much as I could. We're talking 10, 12, 16-hour days of just constant grind to get people to come to me. I'm going to search for people I can go to as well until the point to where I can afford to purchase leads. And then I would be the master at selling these leads in order to grow my agency. That's the quickest route that most people want to understand, is how do I just get going? Versus the other agency, which is more strategic and more methodical. Now, that agency is essentially something similar to what I'm working on with a partner of mine, and we do a mix of them. But that type of agency is built off of long-term. It's more of a, what type of client are you looking for? What's the best fit? What are you going to work with? How are you going to grow? How are you going to market these specific? How are we going to analyze parts? And that's where it gets difficult, is you can go out and do these mass marketing, these mass pieces, but unless you track what's actually happening, you are going to fall into the same boat as most of these agents, where the 20,000 plus agents have fallen out of the industry this year, because they don't know what's working. They're just doing what I just said to do, which is go crazy, go volume and go push it out, go get out. But if they don't actually understand where that volume is getting them the business and how long that volume is retaining the business, they'll never understand how to grow it in a long scale process. I've got a ton of friends that actually do insurance, And the best ones are the ones that have that connections with the customers, and then that longevity plays a factor. Don't get me wrong, they're still going to lose some good customers just because of price. That's just part of the game, is sometimes the companies that you've got just skyrocket, and you've got to essentially just walk away and just say, let's go get 5 more customers to every 1 customer that I lose. So how do you fix this part? How do you get involved into this? There's a couple ways you can do it. A lot of people automatically, if you're starting new, you probably joined some sort of a management company, or you joined an agency that's already established, or you've got some network that you're part of, right? A lot of those networks have what's called an AMS. It's a agency management system. And although all of them really honestly just suck, there are some parts of those that you're already paying for that you can start to utilize. Some of those have some tracking portals. A lot of them have some sort of texting or email platform. There's not a ton besides that. It tells you when a policy cancels. Got to be careful there. There's some legal stuff you got to figure out for that. Can you contact them? What's your E&O look like? There's some complicated stuff behind some of that. But essentially, the parts that you're already holding as an AMS software is there are some pieces that can help you analyze some of that data. When you're quoting somebody, how often do you sell them? All of a sudden I can pull up the zip codes that I've sold in the last year. Things like that you can start to pivot and understand where you're competitive. Now, the part that's missing is the secondary software, which most nobody has, especially if you're a new agent. You're not going to go out and purchase what's called a CRM. It's customer relationship management software. And what that does is that creates a connection or a community, just like an AMS would, but it allows you to market more often and track that marketing. For example, the one that I personally use and the one that I actually have been majority of the builder of is a software that we use. And that software has a website builder, has a funnel builder if you're going to run promotions, has an affiliate portal. So I can, if I get referrals, I can give people, $1 or $5 or whatever my legal allowance is. Each state's different, but I can put people's affiliates. I can create quote forms and landing pages and all of this stuff that I can track. If I did X, Y, or Z, I know that all of the data was tracked inside of my CRM system that I could tell what went where. The problem you're going to run into is the CRM systems themselves can either A, be expensive, upwards of $300, $400, $500 a month, depending on which one you're looking at, or B, can be complicated, because nothing's put together to your exact model. I actually built one that I'm going to link in the description below for you that was built off of the way I do it. And honestly, I started building all of these pieces and all these automations, and I was using the AI systems to help me come up with wording and all of the pieces that I know work and don't work and things like that. And the problem that I started running into is people don't do it the same way. If you're a brand new agent, you're not buying leads. And I have a lead system built into there. So you can start doing that. But you don't need it. So those pieces aren't beneficial to you. When you're new, you need to have Google reviews as top of the list. That's in there. So you've got pieces like that. So you've got to pick and choose what's the best fit for you, technology-wise, to find out what's the best route to go. But essentially, there's 3 pieces of marketing that I personally would focus on. So if you're a new agent and you're the one that is understanding that it takes volume and you've got to go fast. When I say fast, you have to have patience and go fast at the same time, right? You've got to not skip past helping people to try to get the next lead. If you do that and you just focus on the next, you don't take the 5 minutes it takes to put a little folder together for that person and put their documents there, and understand that if your AMS software holds it, that you can put that in there. Put pictures of their house in there, write notes about their dogs, write notes about their family. Start thinking of, how can I be the next family member for this household given without being the call to every time someone drops the I was going to say the bar of soap. That's such a weird thought. Every time someone drops a plate and they want to talk about it. That's not the relationship you're having. It's still business. But how do you become the insurance go-to that even if they don't join you and they leave you for price, when they're talking to their friends and family and they're recommending someone, those people don't recommend the company that they're with, because usually cheap isn't necessarily, they're not proud of it. They're going to say your name. And so even though you lose a person because you gave them that value, now they're going to send 2 to 3 people back if you can grow it that way. The 3 pieces is do as much digital as you can possibly do. Create your Facebook page, create your Instagram page, create your YouTube channel if you're going to start talking about insurance. Do all of those things that you can do to build your digital presence so that when people talk about you, you're tagged on all of these pieces. Now, I'm not saying you have to go out and become a Facebook manager and you have to become an Instagram guru and a YouTube genius, because that's complicated. There's more work there than you could even think of. I try to put out 2 videos a week, and that's even hard because you got to have quality and quantity mixed together, right? So it can't just be stupid information. Yeah, you could go buy a $500 program, or you could hire a guy for $300 a month that runs your YouTube channel or runs your Facebook page. But look at those. Look at all of those insurance agents that do that type of marketing. They assume that some random template is going to get them that access. It doesn't. Nobody interacts with those pages. Even look at State Farm and Geico and Progressive, these massive companies that have millions of people follow them, 5% engagement, right? They get a couple hundred likes on a post, unless they post about the dog on Doggy Day, right? That's we know that works. But what does that do for them? There's not really a whole lot of presence. They know that creating the valuable content for the customer is different. Now, to back that up a little bit, because my partner and I see it a little bit differently. Like, I'm more the informational, I'm more that dry, the introverted, I don't want to go out and meet you, I just rather talk about it and you come to me, that type of person. That's just my personal style. Where my partner understands the value of creating a community around a Facebook page. Right? Being the community person, being the guy that's willing to drop off water at the soccer game, being involved in the community, that's super important, but it's a different style of marketing, right? It's more getting to know me as the person in your area versus I'm the knowledgeable one. So you don't have to pick and choose them both. You can do both. I personally am 99% towards the informational, come to me first. I will bring you water at the soccer game, but then I'm going to run away and hide in the corner because it's just personality. It's just the way I've always been. That's what this year is about, is getting out of the shell to go meet people and interact and be more involved. That's a want more than a necessity, and that's going to benefit everything, right? So that's something I would focus on. That leads into the second piece of marketing, which is network marketing. There is a lot of people to network with, and if you can get that clique, that group, they call them business networking something. BNI is the most known one. In the BNI group, if you can afford the $800 to $1,000, can be beneficial if you join one that has the benefits. And what I mean by benefits is you're looking for those solid partners. I think they call them power partners. I don't know what they're called. They're like power partners. And what they do is you go out and market for them. And they go out and market for you everything that they do. So when you sell a client, you ask that client, hey, do you need any help with cleaning your roof? Do you need any help with yard work? Do you need any help with bathroom remodels? I've got some friends that I can refer to you to if you are. And if they do, then you go refer that person, right? You're getting them interactive with your network. Versus the opposite way, which is go to a BNI group, go to a Chamber of Commerce, go to all of these events and be like, how can I get clients from these people? If you do it that way, you're just going to be known as the guy that always takes and never gives. Yeah, I'll give one to this guy, I'll give one to that guy, I'll give one to this guy. I need 12 mortgage loan officers because those are my people. Those are the guys that are going to give me the business. Yeah, in 2026, that might be the case, maybe 2025. But right now, those guys are dead. There's nothing there for them. They can't sell a house. There's not enough houses on the market. The rates are too high according to the world. And so they're struggling, just like a lot of people are. And so that business isn't there right now. Building those relationships now can be beneficial. But if you were out there constantly trying to help, as well as doing your own business, then you get 4, 5, 6, 10 of those people that are in this network that are the power players. Now you've got a network that is everybody's helping each other. You all rise together. And the third piece is referrals. When you sell a policy, getting a referral, I don't have to talk about it. We all know. If no one's taught you this, I guess I should talk about it just in case nobody did teach you this. If you don't ask for a referral, a review, a referral, things like that, you're not bugging customers. They're used to this type of conversation. They don't mind helping people they like. And if you've done what we talked about, understand their lifestyle, you understand what their insurance needs are, you know a little bit about their family, their dogs, their kids, their stuff like that. They want to help you because you're actually involved in helping them, making sure that they're not overpaying, making sure that they don't have too much coverage, making sure they have enough coverage. Having those tough conversations like, hey, I get it, it's $30 more a month, but you've expressed that this is important to you. That's the cost of what you want. Do you want it on or like stuff like having those pieces versus the other guy that's down the road that just says, oh yeah, we'll just take that off. Oh yeah, it's cheaper like that. Boom, here you go. Awesome. Have a great day. I'll send you some ID cards and let me know if you know anyone else. Bye. And then they move on to the next guy, right? So understanding that part of the insurance industry as a new agent is going to be powerful. I know we went over a lot, so you got those 3 pieces. That's the one agency model. Now you can take the majority of that and put it in the other, which is how do you track? That's the agency that moves forward the strongest, because if you are getting referrals from a certain person and you're not selling any of them, you may need to cut the relationship of the referral off at that point and move somebody in that you will get business from that you can write. If you are writing business that isn't sticking and isn't staying on the policy for more than 5, 6, 12 months, 3 years, 5 years, you'll learn that as you grow. But that type of person, if you're marketing towards that type of client, maybe you do need to pivot from that. Are you doing leads? All of those things. Like, so the agency that can track that, whether it's on an Excel spreadsheet, that's fine. If you've got nothing but time, there you go. If you are going to use a CRM system or software that's really a marketing software that tracks all that, that's what I would use. That's what's in the link in the description below that's going to help you guys get to that level. Now, I know I said it's like $300 a month. This one's actually a lot less expensive, but that's going to help you the most is to have a software or have a pattern. I don't care if you buy it or if you do your own, whatever the case is, understanding the sources that are coming in, the quality of the sources, and what's the conversion rate. If you're spending money, what is the profit and loss? There's a ton more to go into depth with. We don't have time today, but let's break these up in pieces over the next several months. Let me know what your guys' questions are in the comments below. That helps me out the most to know which path we should go down as far as talking. Are we going to talk about what is the actual ROI? What do you mean, what's the ROI? What's the actual lifetime value of a customer? Not just what did I make off of selling this one policy. There's different pieces. When should I do leads? What is the return on leads I can expect? I'll tell you a secret, it's very low. There's not a lot of conversion there. And what's a shared lead? What's a exclusive lead? What's a live transfer? All of these pieces that are entailed in our world, and how do you grow the fastest without losing your mind? There's difference between running an agency and being a sales agent. So there's options that we have to talk about. I've got a few of them, quite a bit of them actually, probably 30 of them written up on the board that I want to go over. And I hope that this video kind of explains what this 2024 year is going to look like. Let me know in the comments below what your thoughts are. If you thought this was helpful, thumbs up. If you thought it was a waste of a video, give me that thumbs down. I'm Mark W. Flockhart. I'll see you soon.